Have you ever been called to create? Back in 2014, when I saw on the news that there were 20,000 adolescents in Pennsylvania alone with autism who would have nothing as far as services when they age out of the school system at 21, I knew that I was meant to do something to help with this problem. My son Nicholas was 12 at that time. Nick was a happy-go-lucky, precocious toddler with an extensive vocabulary. At the age and a half, out of nowhere, he lost not only his thousands of words, but the ability to engage with other people, including me. I remember physically climbing into his crib and going right up to his face and trying to talk to him, and him looking right through me as if I were completely invisible. As an educator, I equated it to being a nurse and just watching my child bleed and not being able to do a thing about it. After several years of being in a tornado, the dust settled, and I was able to not only embrace the situation, but see the blessings in it. One of the greatest blessings of all were the amazing people who came into our lives to help. Such was the case with Tyler Kammerle. Tyler worked in Nick's classroom in 2016. He was a special education teacher, and he and Nick developed such an awesome bond that he agreed to help our family by taking a job to help us get Nick out into the community safely. When we would be out on excursions, he and I would sometimes brainstorm about creating a program of our own for adults with disabilities. But when he told me his aspiration to open a restaurant, I knew that for several reasons, especially Nick's food allergies, that I would need to do something different. In 2021, I woke up in the middle of the night panicking about Nick's future. He was 19, and the clock was ticking. Then I thought of my father, who passed away when he was just 9 months old. My dad had this saying, and he said, when you have a problem, pray like hell, then get up off your knees and do something. And I put my hands together harder than ever that night. And when I woke up the next day, I was thinking about Nick needing 24/7 supervision just to keep him safe. But then I thought about how great he is at peeling potatoes. What if I could create a program that could harness the gifts and talents of amazing people like Nick, who have so much to give to the world? That's it. I can call the program So Much to Give. I actually had all these ideas just come to me. They flooded to me, and I got on my computer and I started to type paragraphs about all the ways that people would be served. The main ones were social opportunities, vocational skill development, community integration, and family caregiver support. I contacted a woman I only knew from Facebook named Kathy Opperman, because I had noticed that her charity, Pillars of Light and Love, was doing amazing things to empower people. Kathy embraced our concept and actually offered to make the So Much to Give Inclusive Cafe a part of her charity. And we began having social skills events each month at their building, the Empowering Youth Center. Meanwhile, I started a Facebook page that quickly had 1,000 followers, and when I noticed a post of Nick baking his allergen-friendly cookies, blowing up, I called Kathy and I said, would you consider putting a kitchen at the center so that we could incorporate baking into this program? And she said she didn't want to do that, but she said she was thinking it would be really cool to open a restaurant. Well, in so many words, I told her it would be insane for me to even entertain such a concept given my family circumstances. But I also told her there was a guy named Tyler Kammerle that she needed to meet. Meanwhile, So Much to Give was getting so much more attention because it was featured as the cover story in our township magazine and mailed to 4,100 people. When Kathy and Tyler found the location for their cafe, Kathy contacted me and begged me to come and see it. It was her feeling that if the three of us could band together, we would actually be able to raise $150,000 that was needed to make Tyler's dream a reality. When I walked into that cafe, into the building, I knew right away it didn't matter if Nick could work there. I could tell this thing was bigger than us and that I needed to be involved with this project. I trusted that Nick would get whatever he needed when the time was right. In November of 2022, with the financial support of the community and the help of many volunteers, including parents like me, just as invested, a lot of parents, the So Much to Give Inclusive Cafe opened its doors and has been a beacon of acceptance and inclusion ever since. Allow me to introduce you to the visionary behind this project, Tyler Kammerle.
Hey guys, so the So Much to Give Inclusive Cafe, like Maureen was talking about, there is a huge need out there for people with disabilities just to have a chance, just to have an opportunity to show their abilities, to show their skills to the world. Sometimes all people need is a chance. So we at the So Much to Give Inclusive Cafe, we want to be an option and we want to be an outlet for people to be able to have that opportunity to show those skills. So before we get into what we do at the So Much to Give Inclusive Cafe, I just want to talk about the heart of it, which is inclusion. Obviously, it's in our name. What inclusion is, I think right off the cuff, most people think it's pretty self-explanatory. It's just to be included in something, to feel a part of something. But I think it comes from the root of it and why and how it happens. Inclusion, I think for us, it's something that can't be made, can't be created, it can't be generated. Like an example, if you ever didn't get invited to a party, you don't want to be the person who has to go and be like, hey guys, can I get an invite, you know? Inclusion is just something you should feel a part of. So we believe it happens naturally. It happens organically. And we want to make sure that everybody who's involved feels that way. So inclusion for us is just something that people want to be a part of. People feel safe. People feel like they're a part of a culture or a family that invites them and wants them there. So to our mission, we try to accomplish everything that just a human life would want and deserve. Vocational abilities, we provide jobs. It's pretty straightforward. Everybody wants a way to contribute to society. They want to make sure they feel valued and they want to give something back to the world that they're occupying. Recreation, everybody wants to have fun. When we get out of work, all we want to do is just go have a good time. We want to meet new people. We want to enjoy this thing called life. And then lastly, educationally, people want to be learning. People want to be growing, developing throughout their lives. I think that's a big reason why we're all here, is just to make sure we're always progressing as people. So we try to make sure that we're instilling that through all of the phases of what we do here. The model itself, it's just based around accessibility and flexibility. We believe here that you can't really fit anybody into a mold. We want to make sure that the mold works around each individual. From behavioral challenges to med changes to just bad days, everybody has them. But what we've done, I think, to make the cafe so successful is make sure that we're just adapting and making sure that we're taking our staff's needs and consideration into account every day. We want to make sure that they feel heard, and instead of feeling like they have to do something or something has to be expected, we can pivot. We can be ever evolving, always fluid, and making sure we're revolving around them. People feel safe at work, and I think that's the best way to get productivity out of our staff. What it feels like for customers. We want to make sure that you're not just coming for a meal. You're part of something. You're immersing yourself in the mission that we hope you want to be a part of. So something as simple as getting to discuss or interact with a server on a day-to-day basis, being able to even help them with their job and watch the growth. If they forgot to get you a drink, you can give them a reminder. A lot of our servers use iPads, assistive technology, to make sure that they have the ability to complete their jobs with some support. Sometimes the customers like to get involved and help them utilize the iPad, help them find the item that they're looking to order. So we want you to feel a part of it. We want you to be included in what's going on here, the growth of the staff, the growth of yourself, and everything that's happening. In addition, we want you to have a great meal. The food is really good, so if you guys are ever in the area of Skippack, please feel free to try it out. That's my little plug. For the staff, equally as important, just from a different perspective, kind of like we touched on earlier, everybody wants to be included. Everybody wants to feel valued. For our staff, if you come in, you will see the simplest things make somebody's day. From just getting to come back, people will run and be, Ty, I just served my doctor today. Ty, I was able to carry 2 plates. I filled the orange juice without overflowing it. You guys will see the smallest things can make somebody's day, and all they want is the chance to show that. The stability of the model, I think it generates based on the staff. We want to make sure that the heartbeat of this mission is known to everybody, and that's the people that come to work every day and put forth their best effort. Again, we're located in Skippack, Pennsylvania. We provide breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We serve about 30,000 meals a year. And we're just trying to keep going. We want to make sure that what's being put out can grow, and again, more people can come to access the programs. So we've been fortunate enough this past summer to expand. We now have 2 coffee shops on the campus of Montgomery County Community College. We also were fortunate enough to win a competition for a food trailer. That should be coming in 2 months. It'll help us get the mission on the road and hopefully accessing different places and providing opportunities to new people. Finally, the vision for what we want to do, we want to keep growing. The So Much to Give Inclusive Cafe employs over 100 people today, just in 2.5 years. We're fortunate enough to have a waiting list of another 50 people that have already applied. We've been a little overwhelmed, but we want to try to keep pushing to create more opportunity for people to get involved. And we want to make sure, going back, that the opportunities are available to anybody. Everybody deserves that chance, and everybody has so many skills to give. So I just hope everybody gets a chance to see it. And now Maureen's going to tell you guys more about another one of our awesome programs.
But that's not all. Clearly, there was a plan. And clearly, that plan was way bigger than us. The cafe has become a really safe place for families like mine. And it's also become a place of hope. And I've actually seen parents of people with disabilities almost drawn to tears, seeing how proud our workers are of their capabilities and their accomplishments. As far as Nick goes, the opening of the cafe has helped him more than I would have ever fathomed. He now has learned how to appropriately eat in a restaurant in the first time in almost 20 years. And remember how I thought he wouldn't work there? Thanks to his school Capstone Academy, he now helps to set up every week by taking down the chairs, wiping the tables, and setting them, and he navigates the place like he owns it. Remember how I trusted that he would have what he needed when the time came? On July 8th, 2023, our team opened the So Much to Give Inspiration Studio right across the parking lot from the cafe. This has become a home away from home for over 225 participants, and also has become a support system for their families. We offer art classes and music classes and karaoke dance parties and other social events, such as community outings for lunch and dinner at our neighboring So Much to Give Inclusive Cafe. Parents love that their loved ones are out in the community, yet safely nestled in the heart of So Much to Give. We recently added theater classes and dance classes, and the amount of confidence being built in our participants through these performing arts has been astounding. We have a vocational program, and one of our partnerships is with a local restaurant, and our participants assemble pizza boxes, and when they bring them out to deliver them, they are so proud of their work and to showcase it in the community, and the accolades they've received from the customers and staff are heartwarming. Service projects to benefit others have been a huge component of our programming, and this is sometimes a community who is on the receiving end, so for them to be able to give back, it's just so rewarding and empowering. Last spring, we filled 1,550 plastic eggs for an inclusive egg hunt over at the cafe, and people of all ages and abilities had so much fun collecting them, including 2 adults in wheelchairs who have never done an egg hunt in their entire lives. The studio is a constant work in progress, and anyone who reaches out to help has become a driving force in its evolution. It was the idea of a parent to start birthday parties, and now many participants have friends to invite. A company reached out who were scientists, they wanted to volunteer, and now it resulted in the planting of the Inspiration Garden, where we get to learn life skills and practice mowing, watering, and weeding. But the greatest thing that we've been cultivating are friendships. Everything's been driven by volunteers. For the most part, almost everything has been donated, even the first year's rent. And it is because of our community that we have been able to create these accepting and inclusive spaces. Thank you for allowing us to share our incredible journey.